What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Boosted JDM YouTube channel. Today we're going to install a pivot turbo timer, something I've never installed before in my life, something I never thought I would install in my life, but it's gone and happened. Well, not yet, but in this video hopefully. I've been consulting with the repair manual, workshop manual, whatever you want to call it. I've consulted with wiring diagrams, I've spoken to Suzuki, and I have consulted with two friends. Without wasting too much time, let's get into the video. Here it is, the pivot turbo timer. It's got the little unit here, and then it's got the little switch which goes into a factory switch housing, whatever. Auto turbo timer, that's a button so you can push it and obviously change the settings on it. It's made up of, so if I actually unplug this, so we can keep them separate just like that. The brown wire here, this one goes to the handbrake switch. The red wire goes to a constant 12 volt feed. Blue goes to ignition 1. And then yellow goes to ignition 2. And then we've got a standard earth. And those are the wires that make up the turbo timer. I've never installed one, remember, like I said, so fingers crossed we can get it going. Let's check out the inside of the car and see how it may go together. Inside of TM, I've already spent some time doing this so that you don't have to watch the boring bits. Basically, you've got this part here, okay? This goes on underneath. There's a screw that goes in there, and then there's two screws that go in there. Very basic. This one I left up here because all of this is mounted to it. And I've already consulted with the Daily Swift. This one here, factory, this would plug into here. But because it's got this aftermarket push to start button thing, this has been put in it, and that then plugs into there. I've already pulled this apart. The green wire is one that we need. If I can get it to focus. The green one, the yellow one, and the blue one. Those are our three wires that we need. I need to work out how to splice into those in such a small gap. And then we can start doing some test firing and seeing how it all works. It's quite important to me though to make sure that all of the electronics in this car work as they're supposed to. And in an upcoming video we're going to be ripping into all of that wiring and behind there. Like, there is so much of it. We need to cord it up, label it, make it all nice and tidy. These cannot hang like this. This just, look, there's wires running everywhere. It's just ugly. I don't like that. I was very surprised to see all this bundle of wiring under here too. But at least it's semi-tidy. It looks like somebody tried to keep it all together, all nice and together. So credit where it's due. I don't even know why I keep that on with the car wide up in the air, right? We're at least 1.5 foot off the ground. Anyways, I'm gonna now consult with myself off camera what I'm gonna do here, and I'll come back when I know what I'm doing. As it would seem, I've actually powered ahead without yous. Seats out, the beat rush floor mats out, got the centre console all apart, got all of this apart. It was actually not my intentions to power ahead, but when I filmed it, it would seem that there's been some sort of complication with the video, so I've got to continue on from where I'm at. Also the sub's out, and all sorts of other bits tied to that. So where are we at? Let's have a look together. It is the next day, and I just worked till about 2 o'clock this morning, and it's quite the mess. So what have we got? We've got the turbo timer, And what I've done is I've pinpointed the wires on the wiring diagram. As you will see up here, the green wire, which also has an orange wire spliced into it for something. I don't know what that is, but we'll find out later on. The green wire that comes off this harness, I just unplugged it from in here. This unit here, so this would normally plug into here, but because it's got the aftermarket Suzuki Sport start button, it's got a plug and play system in place, so this actually now connects into here. But this was the harness that I had to splice into. The green wire, so there's only one straight green wire, because the other one's green and white, which you won't be able to see it very well, but see green and white. This harness here is for the key barrel. This is where you take your power for your ignition 1, 2 and 3. Green wire is ignition number 1. So if you ever need to splice into ignition 1 to install something, it's the green wire on the key barrel harness. Remember that, ignition 1. Ignition 2 is the yellow wire. There's only one yellow wire, can't really get it wrong. And I've spliced into that one for my ignition number 2. And then as you can see, I've put installation tape around it, and then I've heat shrinked it, and then I've cable tied all the wires together to keep them all so nice and tidy. Also, there's a third wire here, which it's also another yellow wire, but it actually runs straight through the top there, straight along here, and then straight into the grommet, because the turbo timer also requires a 12-volt constant battery feed. So what I did was I made up a wire. I put a connector on it, one of these eye bullets that attaches direct to this, adding on. It's not fused, so I'll have to get it a fuse, but for a test run, we can put it together like this. I want to cable tie it to these wires here to keep it tidy. I've had to remove and disconnect the Beatrush oil catch tank, which we're just going to move it over a little bit. And I've had to take off the Corso front top brace, which is right here. And there's the mat. And obviously the driver's seats come out. And the wheel had to come out because there's a bolt that actually sits in a very awkward place, which is this one. This actually comes out here, but to get it in, you have to feed it up through in behind here, and see it's right up there. That goes through, and that comes through as a bolt for here. I needed the access, so I had to pull some of these bits off it. And as you can see, keeping it tidy, it's straight down and into the grommet down in there. I'll see if I can zoom it in a little bit. Into the grommet. Safest way of doing this kind of thing. And then, yeah, that'll run all nice and tidy direct up to the battery terminal as well. Which, you know, that's how it hooks up. I haven't done a test run yet, so we're going to do that together. And I haven't actually plugged in the button. And then we need to mount it. So what I'm thinking is, this actually will plug into one of these. So we're going to take out the fog lights, because we don't have the fog lights fitted to the car. Because the intercooler's in the way. Here's the TM-SQAURE parts that need to go on in order to fit the lights, but it won't fit because of the intercooler piping. So I've kind of just left it free. You're probably all wondering why there's a towel on here. That's just to protect the intercooler, because see, it's getting quite grated, which that all got done by the mechanic when he rebuilt it. Rough as guts. I'm not too best thrilled about it, but I can't exactly do a lot about it, so I'm just covering it. I don't think the fin's being damaged is a big deal, but I just want to be extra safe. Oil catch tanks off, because in order to get access in here, I mean, it's all very tight. It's a very tight engine to be working around. And also, inside of the vehicle, we've got the parking switch wire, which is straight into the switch here, because that's the parking switch. It's only one wire, so I could either splice it into the wire or attach it at the end there like I have. And then that will have to run under here, through here, and then this unit will probably just sit next to that one or under it or somewhere around it. And then put the switch in there, which is here. And then we'll move this one. We'll end up going around here somewhere in with the cup holder. So what I'm doing is currently trying to do the earth. So I'm going to earth it to this factory point right here. There's also some other stuff that does hook up to it. I've cut this off a car at the Wreckers, which is a factory ECU cable, and I'm going to attach it to a wire that will then go to this, and then that will be our earth done. I've got a voltmeter because I've been testing all the wires to make sure they're the right ones, so fingers crossed I've got it all right. What I think will happen is when the turbo timer is all on it, hooked up and running, what will then happen is that when you shut the car down at the key barrel, the engine will stay running for, well, there's two selections on it. You can do it on auto, which I'm guessing it will do it all by itself, or 3 minutes. So I'm going to kind of take that as it comes. We'll work that out as we go. Alright, so as I told you, I was going to tidy it up a little bit. Cord it all up underneath there. Hook up the earth to here, where the factory one is. Runs up there into the unit. The unit then runs the cable down to the handbrake. And that was what I wanted to achieve. I think I've got it right. What we're going to do is we're going to pull up the handbrake because that needs to be up. We're going to put the phone in the pod. We're going to hook up all this little small stuff. Just sit it on, say, there like that. It only needs to be sitting roughly. It's only going to be running for a few minutes. I'm going to hook up the booster pack, which is down there. We're going to hook up the booster pack. We're going to put that on there. And we're going to start it and see if it works. I'll grab the booster pack. And I'm going to literally just sit it in the tray. Move that up. I will just add on the constant power to the rest of them. There is a lot of wires on here. And remember what I said, I'm going to put a fuse on it later. This is just for a test run. Just so that, because it may not even work here. I don't actually know. I've never had the controller working, so I don't actually even know that it even goes. But I'd imagine it would. Okay, so that can't sit like that because it would arc out. So we'll sit it up there like that. That will actually just sit it there. Clamp on some negative, I'm going to flip the booster pack. We've got power. Okay, we've got power. We'll grab the key and we'll now test it. Key in the car down here. Ignition. No sparks. No arcs. Let's turn that down. We've got fan controller. As you can hear, the fan is definitely engaged. Oh yeah. But it does do terrible things to the, where is it? It does suck a lot of power. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to flick it off with the magic button. We're now going to start the car. Engine running. Make sure nothing's out of place. It shouldn't be. Okay, I think we're all good for a minute. Now let's have a look at this controller. Is it working? Is it doing anything? That would be a big fat NO. Oh, damn it. Okay, wait a minute. We've got lights on it, auto, in 3 minutes. Well, it doesn't do anything. Okay, well, it doesn't work. Oh my god, it actually does work. Ignition off. Key in my hand. Locked. And it's still running. Okay. Maybe it does work. We'll unlock it and go into it. Remember, the ignition is off. The car is still running, but the ignition is fully off. We're going to pick up this controller. I'll make it a bit clearer. And we'll push the button and turn it off. And it shut it off. It actually does work. That is amazing. Okay, so I've got it set to the timer. What I'm hoping will happen is that on camera in a minute, the car will just shut itself off. I'm not too sure how long it takes, but I've just set it to the 3 minutes that it has on it. So hopefully it won't be too far away. Take the jump pack off. The TM is running with no jump pack. So she runs and powers this out quite literally. With no battery in it. We're now actually just waiting to see when it will shut off. It shouldn't be far away, but I need to know that the car will power down all by itself without having to go in there and push that button. I've got the key here in my hand, and as you can see, the booster pack's back on the floor. There is no battery powering, and there it goes. So it does work. Very delighted about that. That is another successful install. I know that you didn't get to see a lot of it, and I apologise for that, but sometimes it's just best to power ahead and get the job done as far as I'm concerned. I did what I said I was going to, and I just snap locked it and made it look all nice and tidy. Lastly, what we're going to do, and I've already pulled it out to save some time, is I'm going to jump in the car and we're going to pull this out, and we're going to pull out this switch for the fog lights, because there are no fog lights actually installed in it. Disconnect the green harness and we'll pull the button itself out like this. Now that we've got a hole there, I actually wonder if I should just put the switch back in it and shove it in behind there. There's actually a big aftermarket unit in behind there that I've never ever noticed, which we can find out about that in the next video. I am just going to plug the switch back in and leave it in behind there so that nothing gets lost or missing. We're going to take the switch and I'm going to feed the wire through the hole until I've got it all nicely in place here, and then we're just going to clip it into there like it says and put it there. So those are the three switches: stop start, turbo timer and fan, and that's how it's going to go. With that now done, the controller actually just sits here and it's going to go up and be mounted right there. I'm not doing that in this video, but I got the switch in where I said I was going to put it. There's nothing really left to do in this video. I'm leaving everything apart because in the next video we're ripping into the interior wiring, tidying it up, making it a lot better. I'm sorry it's not something more exciting, but before we can continue with this project, the wiring needs sorting. That's going to wrap up this video. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy it, please give this video a big thumbs up. And if you didn't like this video or the way that I filmed it cutting out far too much, let me know by giving it a big thumbs down. This will help me determine whether you like the long version of what I do or the short version. Yes, it's a half-an-hour video and it's a bit longer than it probably should be, but I like to show you the best of what I do, and this is the best of what I do. Also, if you're new here, please subscribe to my channel, because every single subscriber helps boost my confidence, which makes these videos more possible for me. YouTube tells me that 92% of people that are watching my videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you are new here, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Also, follow me on Instagram if you're not already. Link will be at the bottom here and in the description box. I post far more there than I do on YouTube, and I am contactable, and you can communicate with me if you want via Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.